Thank you for joining me. This is Care for Your Core class, part 3. So this is part of my mindful movement series. And we've been going through a lot of different orientations in terms of asana, or the postural practice of yoga. But for today's practice, I'd really like to hone in on the centering, or connecting to our core, so to speak, but on the inside. So for the first minute or so, we're going to sit quietly in seated meditation. And I'd like for you to begin to bring your awareness to that center and to your core. And just a quick reminder too, as we go through the postures, you don't have to do everything. If something isn't working for you, or you feel tired or depleted, or perhaps have injury, please back off, and I can always bring you a modification as well. So with all that said, go ahead and sit tall and feel pretty balanced and even on your seat. You can sit in Sukhasana, which is the cross-legged position, up on a blanket, or I'm sitting in Virasana. I have a blanket rolled up, and then I bring my knees together and my feet are pressing against the blanket, and then I sit on the blanket. So that's an option as well. You can also take that with a block. With all that said, go ahead and sit tall again. Lengthen the spine. Relax the neck and jaw. And lower the gaze, soften the gaze. If you're comfortable closing the eyes, go ahead and do so now. Start to draw your internal gaze now behind the closed eyes toward your center, toward the midsection of your body. And becoming aware of the breath at the midsection. Noticing the gentle expansion outward on the side body, side waist, and the gentle retraction as you exhale. Noticing the region of the body around the navel, around the belly. Noticing as we inhale, it's like a gentle balloon expanding. As we release the breath, a comforting deflation. And then bring your internal gaze to the lower back. And just noticing if you can experience the breath there in the lower back. It may be very subtle. And finally, bringing your awareness to the side waist. The rising and the falling of our breath there. And then starting to lengthen or expand our breath, the inhales. So as you inhale, filling up a little bit more, and follow it by comfortable exhalation. Seeing if the capacity for breath can be increased as you intake air. And comfortable release of breath. And taking that through one last time, full inhale, wide-reaching expansion of the breath. And then a release. And acknowledging our body and breath here for practice. Let's bow our head toward heart center. And then either refocusing your gaze or opening the eyes and tilting the head up, lifting the gaze up. So we'll spend some time here just seated, doing a little bit of a warm up and getting our neck and shoulders to feel pretty nice. So let's put our left fingertips down. We'll take a side bend. So you'll reach your right arm up, and then creating a C shape here in the mid torso. And then turn the gaze, maybe even turning the chest, looking up toward your right elbow. And then we'll change that. So almost like a lat pull down, you'll bend the elbow, bring the elbow toward the side waist. So right elbow bends, bring it down, and then turn the gaze, gazing at your opposite arm now, left fingers. So repeating that, inhale, reach the right arm up, straightening it, looking up. And then exhale, bend the elbow. Turn the neck and gaze toward the floor, left fingers. Let's do that twice more. Inhale, lift and reach, looking up. Exhale, bend elbow, looking diagonally away from the right side. One more here. Inhale, look up, extending the arm. And this time we'll take half cow face pose or Gomukhasana with that arm. So just bringing the right fingers down and then sneaking that arm behind you. So you can bend the elbow and bring the back of the palm in between the shoulder blades or just somewhere along the back. And then tip the gaze, looking again down toward the left fingers. Relax the right shoulder, top of the right trapezius muscle, just relaxing before we focus on the core. And then release that. So upright the spine, release the arm, and take a moment to notice the right side shoulder and the tissues there. So let's repeat that now on the left side. So extending the right fingers out, inhale, lift and reach left arm up and over the head, and then side bend here. Same thing, turn the chest up and reach. And then exhale, bend the elbow and turn the gaze, looking down toward the right hand. Inhale, repeating that. Reach the arm, extend, side bend with the gaze up, and then moving the gaze downward, away from that left arm. Let's do that twice more. Inhale, lift and reach. Exhale, diagonally looking down as the elbow moves, but you're not seeing the arm move. And then last time here, inhale. And exhale. And then from here, this is where we bring the fingers down and then bringing the back of the palm to the back. And then turning the gaze again away from that left side shoulder, looking down toward your right fingers. A little bit of a side bend there if you can maintain that. Otherwise, just relaxing the shoulder with more of an upright spine. And then stacking the spine, stacking the neck, releasing the arm. Let's do a gentle neck roll from here. So ear toward shoulder, gazing down, ear toward opposite shoulder, perhaps gazing up, perhaps lifting the chin, and then repeating that twice more. So neck rolls here, looking down, ear toward shoulder, gazing up, and then stacking the spine, repeating that in the opposite direction, ear towards shoulder, looking down. So as you move along, noticing the tissues on the top of the shoulder, sides of the neck, upper back, back of the neck, and slowly taking this through one last time. And then we'll come back to center. So I did this during the first class. I said for a moment, and we'll do this right now, go ahead and give me a cringe look in your face with happening in the jaw. So like a, oh, I'm watching a scary movie. Ooh, okay, so when you do that, go ahead and try that with the neck. Bring your fingers to your neck muscles here, and then relax those. And we'll do that one more time. Cringe neck, cringe face, kind of funny, and then relax. So when we come into some of our, you can release the hands. When we come into some of our postures, we're trying to avoid tensing up those superficial muscles there in the neck, and we're trying to access more of the deep stabilizers of the neck. So every once in a while, I'll say, okay, soften the neck, soften the upper shoulders, and that's just you noticing if you're starting to tense up a little bit right there, okay? So that's just for reference. So from here, coming off of our height, you can set that off to the side. And then we'll come to a seat with the legs in front of us. And we're just coming into a boat pose, Navasana. So draw the legs together, lift the chest, open the chest here, and then gently rock back. So you have the option here to leave the knees bent, hands on the thighs. If you'd like, you can lower the feet down if you need more of a modification there. Otherwise, focusing on just maintaining this for a few breaths. And if you'd like to release the hands from the thighs or extend the leg, any opportunity here for boat pose. But rather than seeing how much range with the legs, I'd like for you to lift the chest, noticing the neck, and then noticing the belly. So we're staying here for about 3 more breaths. So relaxing the shoulders, engaging now a little bit of the core, maybe reaching forward here for 1 more breath. Okay, and then we'll lower the feet down. From here, turn toward the camera. I'm placing my left hand down, so whatever hand works for you, place one hand down so you can see me. Coming into a variation of side plank. So my left arm is down, my left knee is down, and I'll straighten my right leg with the toes pointing forward, reaching my right arm up. Take a breath here. From here, I'm coming back to boat pose. So reorientating my body, perhaps lifting my hips up, pushing through my grounded hand and lowering my seat down. So reach the arms, lift the chest, and reach the legs up, or keeping the toes down as you lean back. Take a breath here. Coming back to that same side plank variation. So lower the hand, lower the knee, extend the leg up, and see how high that leg can come up without distorting the pelvis. Okay, we'll do that twice more. So ground the feet down, lower the hips, coming back into boat. And then 1 more here, turning to that side plank variation, lifting the leg up. And then from here with this uplifted leg, so this is actually my right leg, I'm going to gaze to the back of my mat, step my left hand wide, pivot my left toe, bring my right hand down, coming into low lunge. So swing the right foot forward, inhale here for low lunge, and take a breath. So right foot is forward. You can make adjustments there. Coming back to side plank, so lower the hand down. I'm grounding my left foot down, pivoting my left foot back, side plank. So that variation again, same side. Back to Navasana. So now I'm bringing my hips to face the ceiling, lowering my hips down, using the strength there in my shoulder, boat pose. Okay, let's do that twice more. So back to side plank variation, same side. Lift and extend that leg. Gaze down toward your hands, step it wide. Pivot the back foot, swing that front foot around, Anjaneyasana. Inhale. And then exhale back to side plank. Grounding, reaching that top leg back. And then ground both feet down as you turn the hips up, front hips up toward the ceiling. Lower yourself. And we'll come back into boat. Great, 2 breaths here. And then lower the feet down. So I'm just gonna swing my feet around. We're gonna do all that on the second side now. I'm swinging my feet around so I can see you. So if you'd like to do the same, go ahead and join. So let's start again with Navasana. This time connecting to the abdomen here. Draw the belly in, lift the chest, and then lift the legs up any amount here. Holding this for 2 or 3 breaths. Relaxing the neck. Okay, this time this will be my right side. It could be your left. So leaning forward for a moment, coming into side plank variation. My right hand is down, right knee is down. I'm lifting my left leg up. Toes are pointed forward. So lifting the leg up here. And then we'll come back to boat. So turning, grounding both feet, turning the hips and lower down, back to boat. Inhale to lift, open the chest, take a breath. Finding side plank, so ground the feet, turn to your side, lower the knee down, lifting up the other leg. Okay, let's do this variation twice more. So Turning here, lower the hip down, boat pose, and then side plank variation. Grounding, reaching. Okay, from here, turning toward the front of your mat, you can pivot, bring both hands down, and then sweep my left leg, could be your right leg, coming into low lunge. Reach the arms up. Take a breath here, opening the chest. And then coming back to side plank variation, turning the back foot out, sweep that front leg to reach back. So that would be an extension there, yeah. And then coming back to boat, so we're flipping on the mat here, coming back to reaching, facing the back of the mat. Take a breath. Coming back to side plank version with the knee down. And then one more, Anjaneyasana. So bring that leg around, sweeping up, open chest. Side plank variation, coming back to strong top leg, pressing the floor away. And then last time here for boat. So turning the hips as you ground the feet, reach the arms, find your boat. And then ground the feet, make sure you have some space behind you. We're going to roll. So bring or draw the shins closer to you with the hands and then lift the chest here. But as we roll, you will round the spine. So first start with open chest, then round the spine, we'll roll back, and then come back to this almost like Navasana. So roll back, come up and pause. We'll keep going for about 5 or 6. See if you can hover the feet and pause in between rolls. So it's a roll back, come forward, hover the feet. Twice more, 2 or 3 more. And then if you're taking one more, go ahead and do that. And cross the legs. We'll come into Adho Mukha Svanasana from here, downward facing dog. So feel free to reorientate yourself on your mat. And down dog from here. So if your hamstrings tend to be tight, go ahead and have a soft bend in the knees there. If you just want to feel length in the spine, sometimes it's nice to do anyway, always having a soft bend there. Spread the fingers wide, ground the palms down. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Straightening the legs any amount. And then we'll bend the knees, lower the knees to the floor, and come to a seat. So we're doing now some core movements facing the ground on hands and knees. So if you're in a room where the floor is hard, feel free to pad the knees, placing a blanket underneath your legs and your knees. So coming into hands and knees, elbows are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips, and spread the fingers wide. So it's like you're feeling all the contact points of your palms. Press the shins down. From here, feel the crown of the head lengthening toward the front of your room or back of your room. Tailbone is long. And draw the abdomen in for a moment. So belly button toward the spine without moving the pelvis. So you're just drawing the belly toward the spine. Draw the ribs toward the spine a little bit. And then reach the right leg back. You can float it or have the toes down. So right leg is straight. And then reach the left arm forward, upper arm bone close to the ear. So it's opposite arm and leg. So hold that for a breath. Draw the belly in, draw the ribs in, and then lower those limbs down. Second side now. So this is my left leg. It could be your right. So extend one leg, draw the belly in, draw the ribs in, and reach the other arm forward. Take a breath there, strong in the shoulder that's supporting you, and then lower down. Adding on to this, so we'll reach the first sides again. Back toe is pointing down, drawing the ribs in. Then we'll round the spine as we draw the elbow and knee toward each other. Extend the arms here and legs, and then lower the limbs down. Second sides. Inhale, reaching, leg and opposite arm, connecting to the abdomen. Round the spine here, bringing elbow and knee close to each other. Inhale, extending back and lowering down. Okay, one more on each side. So inhale, reach, first side. Exhale to round and connect, or at least they're coming close. Inhale, extend and reach, and lower that side down. And last time here, second side reaching. Feel the abdomen drawing in. Exhale to round, elbow and knee close. Inhale to reach, and lower everything down. And then coming up onto your finger pads. So instead of palms down, lifting up onto your fingers here. So a little bit of a forearm wake up here. So rocking back, hips toward heels, and then rocking a little bit forward. So nothing else is really happening right now other than stability in the wrist joint, forearms, stability in the fingers. Let's take that through 2 more times, just rocking forward and back. And then we'll sit back on our heels. So coming into more of that, it's called bird dog, opposite limb and arm action. You have the option to make it a little more challenging, adding a little more balance into this. So you would take 2 blocks. Do you have 2 blocks? Okay, for those of you online. You'll have 1 block for your left hand, and the other block will be for your right knee. So they'll be in a diagonal orientation here. Yeah. So, and then before we get on the blocks, I'll show you what the movement will look like. So imagine you're the floor right now. I'll bring my arm forward, and then I'm going to bring my arm into that cactus shape. Same thing with my leg. So I'll bring my leg back, and then I'll bring my leg in this, I don't know, cactus shape. So it'll be this, but I'll be facing the ground. So that's kind of where we're headed. Yeah. So go ahead and just step on. So right knee on the block. Step the left leg back so it's straight. Have the toes on the floor, and then bring your left hand to the block. And then make sure you feel comfortable. So that could mean having the fingers draping over the front of the block. And then once you feel pretty secure there on the blocks, press into the block with the left hand and feel the strength of your left shoulder. Okay, from here, we're hugging in at the waistline again, and then lifting up the left leg. Okay, start to bend the left knee out into that cactus shape again. So this shape, you probably won't be able to see it because I'm facing away. So right hand to the floor, left leg into cactus, and then straighten the leg. Left hip point facing the ground. Do that twice more. Bend the left knee out to the side, and then extend, and then hugging in around the waist. 1 more, and extend, and then lower the left toes down. Inhale, lift the right arm forward this time. Upper arm bone next to you, and then doing that lat pull down that we did at the beginning of class. So elbow toward the side waist. Inhale, reach forward. Thumb is uplifted. Exhale, elbow towards side waist, palm facing the ground. Last one, inhale. Exhale, bending elbow out to the side, and then release. So now putting both of those actions together, I need to step forward a little bit with my blocks here. So this time, lifting the left leg, lifting the right arm forward. Take a breath in, maybe lifting the right toes off the floor. From here, bending the elbow, bending the left knee out to their sides, and then reaching forward. Take a breath. You can bring the limbs down at any point. We're doing this twice more, so take your time with this. Strong in the center, elbow out to the side as you bend it, knee out to the side, bringing it back forward and lower if you'd like in between sides. And then last time here. So reaching, bending, embracing the wobbly, reaching forward, and then lower down, coming off the blocks, and take a seat. So that is a lot of movement, coordinated effort in our core. So take a moment there just to notice what parts of the body feel like they got a lot of attention paid to it. Okay, so we're going to move to the second side here. So slide the knee block over to the left, the hand block over to the right. And we'll do that same type of sequence. So stepping onto the blocks, right hand is strong, right shoulder is strong, right leg is extending out. Draw the belly in. Make sure the back of the head is drifting up toward the sky. And then let's start with the leg first. So lift the right leg, turn the toes out, bend the knee like you're going to bring it up toward the shoulder, and then extend it out, hip point facing the ground. Twice more here. Knee out to the side, abdomen in, and then extending. And last one here. Out to the side, and then extend, release the foot down. Okay, engage again with the core and reach the left arm forward. Press into the right hand. Bend the elbow, palm faces the floor, elbow towards side waist. Reach the left arm forward. Twice more here, exhale. Inhale as you reach. And one more exhale, trying to keep the neck long here and reach. And then lower that limb down. Take a breath. Okay, let's go. So lifting up the right leg, lifting up the left arm, maybe lifting up the left toes. Take a breath here. And then bend both limbs out to the sides. Inhale to extend. Take a moment to reset. So press into the block, draw the belly in, and then bend to the sides, lowering down at any point, any limb if you like. Reach again. And let's do it one more time. Extending, bending, extension, and then lower everything down, coming off the blocks. And then blocks can come off to the side. So how was that for you? Okay, thumbs up, thumbs medium. Okay, let's come to our forearms for a moment. So forearms to the floor. You can have forearms parallel or hands together. Knees are down, so knees can be right under hips or whatever's comfortable. So taking cat-cow from here on our forearms. So extending the spine toward the floor, lifting the tailbone, maybe the gaze, and then rounding the spine. Inhale to open the spine. Exhale to round. And we'll do that a couple of times. And one more. And then we'll come into a forearm plank. So if you'd like hands clasped, go ahead and take that. Walking yourself forward now so the hip is open. So knees are further back. Either the knees stay grounded or you're strong with your thigh bones, digging the toes into the floor, lift the knees up here. Yep, and just drawing the belly away from the floor. Keep the neck long, about 5 rounds of breath here. So stay with this. Push the shoulders down. Chest bone pulling forward. And then if possible, making sure there's no tension in the neck, but the neck stays strong, the neck stays long. And one more breath here. And then dolphin variation. So just piking the hips, and you can let the head rest. It's not a very high peak here. Just coming back for a moment with the hips. Just like down dog, but on the forearms. And then slowly lower the knees down. And we'll come to standing. So take a moment here in Tadasana or mountain pose, standing tall. So preparation for sun salutation, just making sure the mat is clear. We'll do a couple of variations from here. Feel the spine long, even on the feet. And then on your next in-breath, reaching the arms up, growing tall. On your exhale, we'll hinge from the hip, coming into Uttanasana, soft bend in the knees, so a big forward fold here. Hands to blocks if you would like, to bring the ground up a little bit closer to you. Come into Ardha Uttanasana, so that's halfway up with the spine, chest lengthening forward, maybe hands to shins. Take your right leg back for low lunge, so step the right leg back, right knee coming down. Inhale to lift up here. Reach the arms up. Okay, exhale. Here's the change. So hands come to the floor. We're going to sweep the left leg back. So left leg will slide back. You'll reach that left leg back. And then either to the floor through chaturanga or knees, chest, chin, one leg lifted. So coming down here with the chest, left leg stays lifted for a moment, and then lower everything down. Roll the shoulders back. We'll come into cobra pose here, opening the chest, and then finding downward facing dog. Take a breath. Inhale, lift the right leg up, sweep it back, and then step forward with the right leg, lower the left knee down. Inhale to lift and reach up here, and take a twist. Exhale, twisting to the right. You can bring palms to the heart. Take one more breath here. And then Uttanasana, forward fold. Bring yourself out of the twist, step forward, let the head hang. Inhale, coming up to standing, growing tall here, drawing the abdomen in toward the spine, and then hands to the heart. Inhale again, lifting, reaching up. We'll hinge from the hip and folding in toward ourselves. Inhale again, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. And then stepping the left leg back, the left knee down behind you, uncurl the toes. Press the front heel into the floor and sweep the arms up, looking up for a moment. And then exhale, hands to the floor, sweeping the right leg back behind you as we did earlier. So straighten that right leg. Inhale here, connecting to the core, and then lowering knees, chest, chin, or just chaturanga to the floor with that right leg up. And then coming out of that, so lowering the belly down, roll the shoulders open, lifting into cobra here, and then find your way to downward facing dog. Stepping the left leg forward, coming into low lunge. Inhale to lift the arms up. Exhale, take a twist. So hands can come to chest. You rotate left, hooking the elbow, lengthening the spine. And then untwist, reach the arms up. We're taking Uttanasana from here. So forward fold, hands to the floor, step the right foot to meet the left. Inhale, rising up to stand. Reach up. And then we'll come back to mountain pose here, Tadasana. Take a breath, softening the neck and jaw once more. And let's move into a new orientation here. So reach the arms up and then bend the knees, lower the hips, Utkatasana. Belly button draws in. We're in chair pose for a moment. From here, we're stepping the right leg back into a high lunge. So step the right leg back into the right a little bit and then lift the chest up. Okay, you can have a soft bend in that back knee if it helps to keep the pelvis in more neutral positioning. Okay, one more breath like this. And then lean forward, sweep the arms back like we're doing, airplane arms. Open the chest here. So feeling the weight of the body now more in that left leg. And then lean forward, step the right leg in, and we'll sweep the right leg back into a version of Warrior 3. Any arm variation here, so you can have the hands at chest or continue to sweep the arms back or even hands to the floor. Bend the left knee, gently bring that right leg back into high lunge, inhale. And then exhale, forward fold. So step the right foot to meet the left and bow in. Come back to standing and take a moment here. Release the hands, connecting to the floor again with our feet, connecting to our center. And let's move once more into Utkatasana. So reaching the arms, coming into chair, bend the hips, belly draws in. Okay, weight bearing on the right leg as you step the left leg back. So you'll step it back maybe a little bit to the left. Tip the torso up, reach the arms up here. Lean forward as you sweep the arms back behind you, squeezing the shoulder blades together like airplane arms. And then step in, weight bearing on the right leg, sweep the left leg back, open the chest. Warrior 3, any variation here. Bend the right knee, coming back to that high lunge. Step back quietly, reach the arms up, and forward fold from here. Step forward. Inhale, pressing up to standing, and exhaling, hands to heart. Inhale, lift and reach the arms, and as you do, lift the right knee. Knee is bent here. And then from here, you're twisting to the right without grabbing hold of the leg. Spread the arms wide. So strong in the standing leg, pull that thigh bone back, trying to make sure that right hip isn't lifting up toward the ear. The knee stays lifted. Spread the fingers wide. One more breath. And then come back into the untwist, leg stays lifted, reach the arms up, and then lower that leg down. And take a breath. Inhale now, grounding through the right leg. Lift the arms, and as you do, lift the left knee. Knee stays bent. Take a breath here, pull the right thigh bone back, and then exhale, turn to the left. Spread the fingers wide. Holding this for 2 breaths. Making sure the left hip isn't lifting up toward the ear. Keep the leg lifted, untwist in the upper body, reach the arms, and then set the leg down and release the arms. Take a breath. Taking downward facing dog from here, so bend the knees, palms to the floor, stepping back. And then ground down through your right hand in down dog. Lift the left hand and then bring the left hand to the outside of the right shin. Maybe taking it into a twist with the upper body. Option here would be leaving the left palm on the floor. And then untwist. Spread the left fingers wide, ground down through that palm, and then bring the right hand outside the left shin. Pushing the hips back, maybe adding the twist. And then untwist, bring the hand back, and take child's pose just for a moment. So lower the hips down, bring the head toward the floor. And then slowly elevate the spine, lift yourself up to a seat, and grab your release balls here. So we're going to conclude with myofascial release, and we'll add supported bridge. So if you're watching this on the playback and you don't have these balls, not to worry, you can just continue to stay in supported bridge. So you'll take your props off to the side to get into this position. You'll find yourself lying down with your knees bent as if you're coming into bridge. And then take the block, probably on its lowest height, maybe medium height here. And then you'll find your balls. And I'm coming out of this just to show you where the balls are being placed for a moment. So when you're lying on your back, the balls, here's the tops of my shoulders. The balls are actually coming just behind the tops of my shoulders, a little bit toward my spine, but on that thick, meaty part of my shoulder here. So here's the top, they're coming just behind. So doing that one at a time is helpful. And I'll come into that as well. So we have supported bridge happening, but we also have a little bit of a release happening now with the implements or the tools on the backs of the upper shoulders. Allow the arms to relax. Allow the gaze to soften. Allow the breath to slow down. With every in-breath now, every inhale, feel your body expanding into the balls or even into the block. And then with every exhale, the balls are softening into the tissues. So we've maintained an awareness of our core through all sorts of movement. And now we're coming into more of a stillness orientation in our practice. And yet, can we still connect to the core, to the center? And taking 2 breaths more. And then from here, lifting the hips up and off the block and setting it off to the side. For those of us with balls, we're taking the balls into one more place in between our shoulder blades. So you could just roll yourself up the mat and roll the balls in between the shoulder blades, or you can move them down. So this is me seated. The balls are coming in between, anywhere in between the shoulder blades. For those of you without the balls, you're coming into Shavasana now. So extending the legs out, perhaps supporting the legs with a blanket, a rolled up blanket. And those of us that are laying on the ball, find a position for the legs that is relaxing and soothing for you. So it could be feet wide, knees resting together. It could be legs extended out. And then just noticing if the front side of the neck is soft, but also maybe tucking the chin a little bit toward the chest if the chin has started to drift away there from the chest. Let the shoulders feel heavy. Let the spine feel free as you breathe. Let the pelvis and hips feel heavy on the floor. With every in-breath, we're pressing into the balls or into the floor. And with every exhalation, the balls are softening in, or we're softening in toward the floor. And then those of us with the balls, go ahead and remove them off to the side. And we'll take a moment here in Shavasana. So about a minute, just resting, placing the legs where is most comfortable for you, softening the face, letting the legs flop open. Noticing the steadiness of breath now at the navel center, at the belly. Final rest. Begin to call a fuller breath now, welcoming that breath into the lower belly, into the whole body, and exhale, releasing that. And slowly rolling to one side of your body. And pressing yourself back up to a seat. Hands can rest on your lap, or you can draw the palms together, thumbs at heart. Reflecting now on what is our center and expanding that truth out throughout our day, our week, our lifetime. So let's bow the head toward the heart, rubbing the palms, and then covering the eyes with the palms. Blinking, looking into your eyes, eyes looking into the palms, and then move the hands away from your face. And thank you so much. Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you again really soon.